So we're starting this video obviously in kind of a unique location compared to my rest. I'm currently on UCL's campus. I came up here to borrow a laptop for work because I didn't have Microsoft 365 for something at like my real job, but I also have been wanting to come up here to just get work done, and I thought I'd have like a bit of a study day. I have a big paper for my actual master's program due this Thursday, and yeah, I just thought like just got the urge, because usually I film all my videos at home and it's not really that exciting to see, and UCL is such a good place to come to get inspired. I love UCL. When I'm walking around, they have so many little plaques and things of all the cool things people at UCL have done, and it's like super inspiring, and I just thought it would make like a good background for this video. So I'm currently in a bit of a conundrum with my project because I have been trying to troubleshoot. Okay, I'm currently at a bit of like a little roadblock I've been in all week. I've been trying to move from like making this computational model of dissociative amnesia, and I'm trying to move the densely coded experiment that I ran on recurrent excitation onto like a sparsely coded network. I'm trying to make it sparsely coded, and it's been a real hassle for some reason. It's not for some reason. I've been learning. I've been trying to like learn. But basically, sparsely coded networks are super tough because I think it's because it's all zeros and ones, and instead of having some of the pieces of the pattern, some of the neurons inhibiting the other pieces, they basically just go kind of, I don't know, they go kind of crazy with like excitation and stuff. So I have been trying to troubleshoot all week. I like every day I've tried to troubleshoot a little bit, and Claude doesn't really know what to do with my code. I didn't know it would be that hard, but it's been really annoying. Like I've been trying to it keeps getting into like basically what's coming out of my patterns, instead of being like actually looking like a pattern from one model or another, it's like a mix, it's called a spurious attractor. So it's like a combo of two different patterns, that like a noisy pattern and like the real pattern. And I've really been having a hard time with that. Like every day I've been trying to work on it, and Claude is like, it's just not getting it. And I thought that sometimes when I'm really pushing and I'm trying every day, it's like I lose sight of solutions because I'm just trying to push. And I thought that it would be good to take a little step back and learn some other stuff, learn the different pieces of my network that I haven't like fully comprehended. I thought if I did that, not only do I need that for my methods section because I need to explain what's actually going on, but I also thought that maybe I could figure out what's going wrong. I haven't really I think my confidence has been low of like, you can't actually understand this even though I'm this far in. But yeah, so I'm like, I think that I need to understand it so that maybe I can be the one to say, okay, this is where it's going wrong and you need to fix this, versus being like, what's wrong? And it just keeps coming up with it keeps generating solutions. I implement the solution and then I just get spurious attractors again in like a different way. So that's basically the issue I've been having, and it's been really annoying. And I told my supervisor, like I have a meeting with him on Friday, and I told him that I had everything combined into one model and everything, because I was like, oh, by then I'll have it. And now the meeting's on Friday, thank God, so I'm also still assuming that I will have it. But it's been actually like randomly a harder task than I thought. Like I feel like I'm spending more time trying to get this thing sparsely coded than I have actually been spending like implementing other solutions. So that's just generally been really irritating. And sometimes it's like I've learned in life that sometimes you're pushing too hard and you need to take a step back and let other stuff soak in, and then you jump back in and you feel creative again. Where if you're just pushing, you start to get annoyed, and then you don't see like the obvious solutions. And I've had that issue before where I was trying to actually troubleshoot like that for my densely coded one, and I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do? It's not working. Where I really just needed to troubleshoot more, but I thought that I had to come up with something brand new. So that's why it's good sometimes to take a step back. And yeah, I just thought it would be good. So I want to go work on my paper. It's due on Thursday, but I think I could get it done early, TBH, because I already have a lot done and it's like a good learning day. It's like 3:30 p.m. right now, and it's past, like, it's final season right now and classes are not going, so there's like nobody here. Usually UCL is packed with students and it's like, you know, all the seats are taken and everything, but like nobody's here, which is good for me because I can focus better. So yeah, with that in mind, I just thought it'd be kind of fun to put UCL like in the setting here, because usually, like I said, I'm at home and it's just such a nice place to come and study and work. So yeah, I'm gonna work on my paper first, and then let's see, I want to learn, like, for example, all like the terminology. What is a bias? Why is like what's going on with the bias in my network? What is the input signal? All these different things that are like issues in my model right now. I thought like I want to go and learn those pieces so I can explain them in my method session, and so I can know like what is going wrong. So either we do that here at UCL, or you just get cute shots of me at UCL, and then when I go home we learn all that. I also am already super caffeinated. My favorite coffee shop on campus is, I forget the name. I love chai lattes. And there's a coffee shop that I think I'm mixing it up with New York, because there's a coffee shop in New York called the Chai Spot that now I don't need to gatekeep because I don't live there, but it's so good. But there's like a chai one here that I always go to, and I'm already super caffeinated, so I can't go to a coffee shop, even though I would love to go back there. But too much chai in a day is not good for you. Okay, not the most exciting lounge on campus, but it is my favorite in the psychology. It's in the psychology building, and it's got this like homey little 2000s like unupdated feel to it that makes me productive.
This is how to transport.
Sometimes I think when a library is too pretty, I'm like, I can't, like, I'm too focused on the fact that I'm in a beautiful location. You get me? You know, one of the reasons that I actually thought that all of this, like, trauma was a big part of the consolidation process, like, obviously clearly coincided with dissociation. I'll show you in my paper. So I read this paper here, and it says that low arousal word number pairs were very quickly forgotten, with almost 50% of the associated numbers recalled immediately, but none a week later. But then for the high arousal pairs, there's only 10% of the recall on the immediate test, but 40% recall a week later. So high arousal like pairs were immediately not as well remembered, but then later on well remembered compared to low arousal. But for what I also, like, in another paper, I learned that basically there was like a very high percentage of victims of rape that had dissociation symptoms immediately after, but then when you check like a week later, the dissociation was down for like a significant percent of them, so it went down over time, which is one reason that basically people one reason that the trauma model people, so people who thought dissociation was because of trauma, like, showed that it was because of trauma, because if it were confabulation, then the number should go up because people are like making more dissociation, but it was going down over time. And so, but that makes me think that, like, that's why, for example, with these high arousal, it's like it's harder to recall immediately, but once it consolidates, it's easier to recall. Versus with the other ones, it's like it doesn't have that same effect. So I was like, over time, people are consolidating their experience, so the dissociation is going down. morning. I went to UCL yesterday and did some studying. Unfortunately, I got a new mic and I don't like it didn't save anything, so I wasn't there that long anyways because it turns out I had left my laptop charger at home. I went a second day to UCL, so not the first day that I showed, but another day because I needed to do something there. So, anyways, that's not important. The point is that I started setting up my learning, so I'm going to show that. I basically do I make a lot of vocabulary lists. I have a lot of vocabulary lists in here. You can see like a lot of these are vocabulary lists if you press like I don't know. This is a vocabulary list. Has like all everything about acetylcholine in it. So I make a lot of vocabulary lists and I use those as like a means through it to ask a bunch of questions. And what I did yesterday was I made a new vocabulary list for my my model. So I'm gonna show, I think Jupyter Lab is still loading, but this is my paper so far. And I was saying yesterday that it's starting to really take shape because I've updated stuff as I've gone along. Like I'll add this or that. Like I kind of updated it as I go. So for example, even the results section, I don't have numbers yet, but I already started putting in some pieces that I think are going to be I'm going to see again when I run the model over and over again. So like the part about acetylcholine being low and everything. So it's already kind of shaping up even though I'm not done yet. And that helps me and motivates me because I see the paper coming along. But I started to put together the methods section a little bit the other day. So these are rules that I've just been saving. This is like a typical, like a Hebbian learning rule that is standard and used like across everything. A sparse hop field rule, a typical asynchronous update rule. I just copied them in so that I could have them. And then what there was probably going to happen is that based on what I have, they're going to get changed. So, for example, there should probably be something here that's going to be explaining how the acetylcholine is modulating it. And I already started kind of explaining my method section in very simple words as well. So it's kind of been shaping up a little bit. And I thought, well, at the same time that I need to, I think I mentioned this in my first clip, but I was like, I'm gonna be putting this stuff in my method section anyway, so I might as well learn it. So what I did yesterday that got chopped is that I went into my network and I just went through everything that I didn't really understand yet, and I made it into this big list. So we have this proper normalization for sparse patterns, centered bias. How does this bias work? I was learning that yesterday, as you can see. And then just everything about the asynchronous update rule. I didn't like I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to understand it better and like what's going on in here. And I'm hoping because Claude is not figuring out what to do with my model, I'm hoping that like I can figure it out if I basically learn everything going on in here. And I have narrowed it down to two places that are like of high suspicion for me of like where this is happening. The bias rule is suspicious. That could be a place. And then the asynchronous update rule is also a suspicious location for where this could be happening. That my output, let me try to find the output, is coming out in like just random, like it's doing something called a spurious attractor, like it's voting a spurious attractor, whatever. Basically, that these things are like a combination of two different patterns. And I've just been kind of going back and forth with Claude for like a minute and it just hasn't like Claude has not figured it out yet. So that's why I'm like I need to narrow down to maybe what I think is happening and see if I can figure it out myself. Which is a big task for me. I was saying like I feel nervous because I keep having like a sense of my own limits, like, okay, you wouldn't be able to do this.
but I keep surprising myself and being able to do it. So I'm like, I need to get more confident about what I'm learning and what I'm doing so that I can finish this because I need to like I'm like, "Oh, you wouldn't be able to troubleshoot this." But like I don't need to do every part of it, but like I do need to do it to a degree now and like I'm going to have to assume that I can do it. I was learning a bit about how the bias works. I asked some interesting questions, so or like the responses were interesting, the reasons were interesting. But essentially, I was a bit confused because I knew the bias was like modulating it. I just didn't really know how. I just was like, so I basically gave it my code. I was like, just confirm you got this. It's not the whole code, it's just the bias rule and then the update, asynchronous update rule. Um, I asked like, can you explain the bias? What is it? What does it do? Don't hot field networks naturally have a bias? Why is this one special? What is A? Why is axis one? So I had a lot of questions about the bias. I'm gonna keep asking questions and then I'll see like what I learn. I learned that the bias sets how hard it is for a neuron to turn on. So a higher bias means the neuron requires more input to fire. What I'm getting is spurious attractors. We're just gonna logically go through each piece. What I'm getting is spurious attractors. So what I'm getting is ones that shouldn't be there. So I'm gonna start listing like things that could be happening as well. So it could be that the bias is not strong enough because I am getting runaway activation essentially, but I have more questions about that, but I'll come back to it. That's a very strong contender for like the troubleshooting, like where do I angle my troubleshooting? But I'm gonna go into some of these other parts of my thing now. So the asynchronous update rule, you see the bias goes in here. So the bias is gonna be changing how the energy works and how this rule works. The other one I really don't understand is input. This is the thing is that it seems like a lot of things that were just in my normal rule before because I had to add an asynchronous update rule because this one is sparsely coded and I think it was I don't know if it maybe it wasn't already doing that. I think it was not. So that's actually the new thing between the two. A lot of things that were in my actual just normal rule seem to have gotten tossed into my update like my asynchronous update rule. So for example, like all this stuff here, this is apparently equivalent to some other stuff here. This is like this is a lot for me right now. This is beyond my scope of like comfort level by a lot. This also seems very suspicious as well. I don't need to understand everything. I just need to be able to ask a more pointed question. That's the goal. These are all things that are changing. So this controls how strongly the network reacts to deviations from the target sparsity. If the network is more active, it should be current activity target sparsity is positive, so the threshold gets raised to make it harder for neurons to fire. If the network is too sparse, it goes negative and the threshold drops. This seems also very suspicious because maybe this could not be hitting the like raising the threshold enough. It's a very, very strong possibility it could be that. So let's go back. I have it's you see how okay, adjusted bias, this is the adjusted bias. So it's putting all that information together to say like how the bias is going to be, so how likely each thing is to get to fire or not, I think. If I'm remembering that correctly. I actually think the bias, yeah, so the bias is could be too low. And right now, how is it calculating my bias? Weights times axis equals 1 times A. Let's learn what axis equals 1 is. I feel like this is all going to be like for nothing. I don't know. I'm not feeling that confident about the situation. So it could be that too. I think, right? It could be that. So I want to know where this could be happening in the weights, and this could also be happening. Aha, I wish I knew more. I'm so like, it's so annoying to do this without like I'm just guessing. This could be happening in the weights, or this could be happening down here with the bias and with the okay, let's copy paste everything down but back to the bottom and ask Claude stuff. I'm gonna just stick to hardcore learning right now. I'm gonna ask it if some of my assumptions are correct. Like I'm gonna ask it like don't tell me like don't give me a solution, just tell me like am I right that it could be here, here, or here? So I said don't give me a correction yet. Am I correct to assume that some places this issue could be coming from are A, how the weights are being normalized, B, the bias could be too weak or low, or C, the LOM, I think, could not be raising the threshold high enough. I'm gonna say, am I generally correct to assume? Let's try to read this. Let me walk through each one. Weight normalization, yes, this matters. The normalization factor is the standard one from the sparse Hopfield literature, but it controls the overall scale of the recurrent input age. If the weights are too weak relative to the bias or threshold, the network can't pull a noisy state towards the stored pattern. If too strong, you get different problems. The normalization interacts directly with points B and C. So point B, bias is too weak or low. Yes, absolutely. I notice you reference bias in update async and energy, but I don't see where bias is actually defined in your code. I guess I missed it. This is likely a critical issue. For sparse patterns, the threshold / bias is essential. It's what prevents the network from just turning everything on or staying stuck at whatever activity level the noisy input had. The standard threshold for sparse coding is typically something like bias equals whatever, whatever, or it's separate proportional to the mean field. But the key point is it needs to be carefully calibrated against the weight scale. Lambda, I don't know how to say it, and dynamic threshold. Yes, this is relevant too. Your sparsity regulation term, LOM times current activity minus target sparsity, is adjusting the threshold based on the current global activity, which is correct in spirit. But if that's too small, the network won't enforce the target sparsity strongly enough. And if the original noisy pattern has too many active units, the network needs to enough corrective pressure to suppress the excess activity. The deeper issue you should also consider is that your recovered pattern is identical to the noisy pattern. Oh, I guess I chose the wrong one for that, but I am overall getting sparse attractors. Okay. I'm gonna like put this together here. Let me double check though that I am right that I swear because I swear I was getting like mixed states. I wasn't just getting like, oh, it's nothing. Unless it decided to fix itself now somehow. I think it just happened to be that I picked the one that was identical, but this some of them are not. Like this one is not identical. You can see this one is a mixed state. So this one just wasn't able to recover. I have other things I'm gonna like check on. So guys, this is really hard actually. This is very difficult. Like I'm struggling a bit. Let's put it at 0.7. This at this point, it should be suppressing everything. So everything should be the same as like you see what I'm saying? That even on this is what's really bizarre. And I don't know if this is like a clue, but every single like usually it will be not recovering, but then the very last one, the very last neuron will pick up a one. I don't know why it's always the last neuron, but it's been a trend in like my thing. You see, even when it's suppressing it, even when it's a noisy pattern, it's still picking up ones. You can see here, it's picking up a one. So, God, I wish I had, I keep being like, I just wish I had like way more experience. Okay, I'm gonna just sit and like, I'm gonna let this soak. I wanna let this soak today. for a bit before I come back to it because I don't like to just like push my way through learning. Sometimes I walk away and then like I come back like 5 minutes later, but if I'm feeling like I hit a wall, I'm not one of those people that's like, you have to sit here and work 8 hours, like just figure it out. No. Like I'll work like half an hour, I'll walk away, I'll have my day, I'll come back, like I'll work more like because then I'm not pushing myself and then like everything soaks versus like, okay, I have to sit here and like you will get it today or I hate you. Like, no. But I think that we have angled in on like some key places where this could be happening. I think the next thing I'm gonna try to figure, I'm gonna like, I think I want to get more information. Like, I don't think I fully understand yet how does it go from weights to recovered pattern? I know that's a very large thing, but I kind of want to see that visually. I don't know, like I want to see that visually in the matrix. I just don't know how to do that, but that's something I might ask Claude. Hello, I'm back. It's the next day. I submitted my cognitive psychology paper and I'm very tired. And I'm wearing a very silly shirt. I just needed a shirt because I went out in a really hot weather and then I was like dying inside. But it made me nostalgic and happy. It's a cousin's shirts from The Summer I Turned Pretty. And I was actually watching The Summer I Turned Pretty like earlier in this little series. And I had a lot of feelings about it. So when I saw this, I was like, I can pretend I have love drama in my life and I don't. Anyways, I went on lots of walks the last 2 days and I had some thoughts, some ideas about how to go about this problem. I have a meeting with, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to put the pressure in the air. I have a meeting with my supervisor tomorrow. I told him that I had like this and that done. And I was like, oh, it'll be easy. Like, of course I'll have it done. So we need to do troubleshooting today. Hot take while my Jupyter lab loads, but I couldn't be in a love triangle like that. Back to The Summer I Turned Pretty, but I just couldn't do it. I would think that every time I watch like Twilight, I'm too decisive. I'm just like I'm a very decisive person. Like I have like I couldn't there's no way in a million years I'd be like, "Oh no, they're both so great." No. I'm choosing like I'm done. And then that's the first thing. The second thing is like that just that's so much stress to put yourself under. Like I just can't imagine being in that level of love triangle at all. But good for Belly, I guess. Okay, so this is the one I'm still trying to fix. I said that I noticed something, which is that I usually pick up a one right at the end. I want to see if that's true across multiple different fronts. I don't know why I thought that might be a clue. If not, it's like whatever, but I really want to have this ready. This is gonna get done tonight. Like it's not a question of if or not. It's like this is gonna get done. Let's put the acetylcholine at 0.5. I feel cheated because everybody thought there was gonna be a The Summer I Turned Pretty like Christmas episode and it just didn't happen. And I kind of wanted my Christmas episode, but fine. This is at 0.5. You see how it's recovering, recovering, recovering. Like the noisy pattern is the recovered pattern most of the way through. Most of the way through. And then like you see it's picking up all the ones of like unless it's a perfect mixture. Let's check that. Is it just literally picking up every single one? It truly might be. If that's the case, then it definitely is the bias is like way too low. It does seem to be quite literally picking up every singular one in both patterns. So it's like pure mixed state. Let me check, like, we're gonna check other numbers. That means like that definitely means the bias is like really too low for like I think. I don't know actually. Why am I acting like I know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's literally picking up like every single one. I don't see one time that it's not like there's a one that it doesn't pick up. I think that makes it easier. I might be wrong. Like it's not even like a little bit. It's like literally picking up everyone. Let's try to see if it'll change the bias and if that's a solution. I'm really hoping this is easy because I don't really feel like thinking that much. And I really want to get to my last experiment. Like, I want to get to mixing everything. And I'm watching my movie. So I'm going to play my movie for a bit. Seems like it should be an easy issue, but I was just confused because Claude is struggling. Claude is not understanding a thing. So pretty much it. I'm going to put the acetylcholine like high now and just see what happens if I'm also getting spurious attractors there that are literally a combination of every single one again. It's literally picking up every except for this one, weirdly. Here, the spurious attractors are not as blended. This didn't recover at all, and this didn't recover at all, and this didn't recover. So nothing's just recovering at 9. When is the issue? When are the issues happening? Let's check that. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. This didn't recover. This is entirely the noisy pattern as well. No, it's not. This one's already getting into a spurious attractor at 0.8 acetylcholine. I just don't want to keep circling back and forth asking the same questions. I want to show Claude what's going on with the output. So I'm going to show it how let's go back to 0.9. So I'm going to explain now at 0.8 ACH. I would expect it to be completely suppressed. And the output is overall the noisy pattern with ones from the mixed pattern already. So let's show it. Is it doing it at 0.8? I think so. You see, because it's mostly the noisy pattern here. It didn't pick up these ones. But at the end, it picked up like more ones here. So it's already having that issue. I mean, from the original pattern, not the mixed pattern. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this in like normal. I don't know, actually. Should I do this in no, if it's too long for this Claude, which I think it's gonna be too long for this Claude, we'll move to the other, like the Claude I actually paid for. And then let's see at 0.7, I think complete mix, like literally like just a straight up mixture. It's picking up every singular one. I think the bias is too low, but I might be wrong. I actually don't know the best way to go about it. I'm gonna ask this Claude, and I'm also gonna ask the other Claude and see what they say. Because I don't know, this might be too big for Claude right now, but let's see if I can think like what's happening. I think it's just not suppressing enough. And then the bias, I think it's not suppressing enough and the bias is too low, maybe. So then you're just getting like ones bleeding into the whole thing. Should I turn on this adaptive thinking thing? I've never done that before. What is adaptive thinking? Ooh. I forget this exists. You know, in ChatGPT there was like think deeper. I never used it. I don't know why per se, but I'm like, what can it like you should just know already from the beginning. Oh wait, I don't need Opus for this. We're gonna ask this Claude the same question, which I know sounds dumb, but I just wanna I wanna compare and contrast the solutions that it gives me. What I'm gonna do with this one is I'm also gonna show it how what I was getting for my densely coded one. Okay, so we're using every Claude type now. I've got like Claude on Claude on Claude. And between all of this, I really hope we're gonna figure it out. I don't think I'm good at using like this AI. Like this any AI, I don't think I'm really that good at like some people know everything about it and they know how to do it like super well, you know? Like they're like super AI people and they know like all the AI skills and how to do I don't. Like I'm not and I don't really care to be, so I haven't stopped to do that, you know? So I didn't even know that Claude like I use ChatGPT Pro no free through a majority of everything that I did, like up until the end. And I didn't know that Pro thought better. Like I didn't know that it was like thinking harder. You know, I was like, oh, I didn't know it was like a dumber model when it was free. until somebody I was talking to somebody at like when I went on my Portugal trip, somebody mentioned it in conversation because people were talking about AI. And that should have been intuitive to me, but I just didn't know that. And so I didn't then after that I got Claude Pro for like 2 months when I was coding, but you see I'm not the best at like using ChatGPT. That's something I should learn, or not ChatGPT, like AI. That's something that I should learn. But you see, I don't like think to do stuff like deep thinker and stuff like deep thinker. Think deeper. Is competing with a still dominant binary external drive. You never get a regime where recurrence is partially helping because the external input isn't graded. It's a hard binary clamp. I wish I could, it's annoying, like the API code thing. Because let's see what this Claude says. I think they're both saying a similar thing, but there's some kind of binary something in my issue, so it's either turning them on or off, but it's like it's not turning them off. At 0.9, recurrence is scaled by 0.1. External is 0.9 per noisy 1 bits and noisy 0 bits. Your threshold is small. So every noisy 1 bit easily clears threshold. I'm just not in the mood today. This all worked so nicely in my densely coded one, and now it's like, I'm gonna show it what happened in the densely coded one so that it can understand, because this one worked so perfectly. I'm like, I just want this again. I don't want craziness. Hopefully it understands. I hate doing this on AI. Ugh. I hate doing this on AI. I want to just do this myself, and I'm really annoyed that I can't do it myself. And it makes sense because why would I be able to do this myself? But like it irritates me a lot. I did thinking, I was like maybe that's just how it should be or something. Like maybe that would create some kind of spurious something, but it shouldn't. Like it shouldn't at all. So it should just be suppressing. It shouldn't be doing that. 0 bits contribute 0 external drive. So external inputs can only push on, never off. That's why you get a union of ones at acetylcholine 0.7. Why would it do that? Instead of graceful fragmentation. Dang, this actually does think really like, that's crazy. It's my first time using this function. Here's what the comparison table shows. That's so cool. Pattern 2 in the original means the recovered state is 9 bits from the stored pattern. Oh my gosh, no! Oh my gosh. So it's telling me to fix this right here. It's crazy how that little thing might make such a big difference. Let's see. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. This is exactly why is Michael Haselmo the freaking celebrity of this all? This is exactly the Haselmo style encoding retrieval gating mechanism you were going for. Was I going for that? I have no clue, but thank you. Okay, now let's try to fix the thing that it was saying. Please work or I'm gonna cry. Like actually cry because this is taking so long. I've been troubleshooting this for days and days. Okay, right now it's just nothing. Nothing. Like there's no memory recovered. So it's going well so far. Recovered Okay. Yes. It was something so small. In their defense, both the Claudes, I think, said the exact same thing. Both the API key and the, like, just the normal one, because this is what it said. It said the same thing about on and off. It's funny it took that long because when I was just asking it, it wasn't noticing that. I think I needed to show it like I was like, this is, do you see what's happening over time? And I think that actually was what helped Claude, because Claude was just not picking it. Like I was like, what's happening? What's happening? And then like it took me showing like, okay, it's completely, you know what I mean? It's like overblown the whole way through up till this. It's like then it could see what was going on. So let's try 0.5. Okay, this is suppressed with nothing blended. Oh wait, shoot. It did pick up a 1 here. That shouldn't be there, but so far not too bad. It's already getting blended, so we're gonna have to keep going down, I think, until like, you know what I mean? Keep going down the line to show it like, okay, this is now, it's getting to the point here. So I think I'm just gonna keep doing that. Let's see this like 1, 1. I think this just straight up didn't recover at all, which is fine. That's good. It's a little confusing because it kind of seems like the noisy pattern has more ones in general than the original pattern, which at least in this one, but I might be wrong. So I'll have to check on that too. I'm so tired. I'm actually exhausted right now. 0.3. By this point, there should be fragmentation for sure. Whoa. This one, why did it iterate for so, my God? It went all the way to 20. That's crazy. 0, 1. Okay, this one is getting like a really mixed state. This is insane. I've never gotten this before. And this one is a very blended, like a very spurious state. Here, spurious state. Okay, so it kind of worked at 0.7. Ah, let's just take it all the way down and just see at this point. And then I'm gonna like, I need something. I don't know. I'm so tired right now. I think I'm gonna make something to eat. You see, why did it randomly do that like so intensely at one point and then nothing? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It's what's interesting though is that now it doesn't seem to be picking up every single one anymore. It's just picking up like this and that one. The noisy pattern thing is an issue though, right? Because I feel like the noisy pattern has like way more ones sometimes. This is such a headache. This is actually a massive headache. At least down to about 0.7 it worked, but it was like I gave it 0.9, 8, and 7, and it was like, okay, I guess we're gonna make it work until 0.7, but like that's it. Like why? I'm tired. Why is this happening at 0.3? I'm so confused. So I'm gonna tell it. So it seems that there's mostly an issue in the middle parts with how acetylcholine is suppressing, where in the middle it lets in too many, like it lets in too many ones. So we're gonna let it do this. I'm gonna make myself, and by make I mean microwave myself, an omelet that I got at Sainsbury's. I mentioned that this one's taking a very long time, so it must be a complex issue. At about 4-minute mark or something, because I found it. Didn't I say I was learning? I said this. I said this was one of the things I said could be happening. Let's remind ourselves, because I remember saying it. I don't remember what it does. Okay, so I said it. I said this could not be raising the threshold enough. How strongly the network reacts to deviations from the target sparsity makes it harder for neurons to fire. So it's too easy for neurons to fire right now. You know what I'm gonna do at some point? One day, like I want to take some time. I'm not going to go straight into a program for this, obviously, because I'm not applying for anything because I need to finish this. Like, no one's going to send me yet. And I also don't want to pay immediately. And like, there's so many different reasons I'm not going into, like, I didn't apply for any new programs this year. But I want to take some time to learn like, on my own and do more like practice runs and stuff. I want to do practice runs of troubleshooting. Like, what's the issue? Like, me diagnosing the issue and fixing it. You get me? I think that'd be such good practice. Okay, so the lamb should be much higher. I don't know if it's actually called LAM. LAM. It's not lamb. It's like LAM because I think it's like lambda or something. Okay, so let's try that now. So in this needs to be changed to 2.0. If this works, I'll be so happy. Let's try again. So right now it's at nothing. Check everything's working. Let's try again from the beginning. Let's press like every single button. Oh, I don't know. For some reason that fixed it, it looks like. Okay, so it's working at 0. Let's try it at 0.3. Start over because sometimes that messes things up if I don't. Okay, so at 0.3. Yeah, we're already getting a mess over here. So this one recovered. This one recovered. This one is a bit spurious, but let's see if there's something else that it says. So yeah, it says you're not crazy. Your noisy pattern is genuinely denser, and I think that's an issue as well. So I'm gonna fix that. I was like, that doesn't seem right. So let's fix that too, in case that's an issue, because it could be. Because I was like, if that's causing an issue, that's basically the issue that I was having kind of in my my other one. So let's try it now. This is at 0.3. 111. See, now it's actually coming out right. So I think that was actually impacting it probably a bit as well. That I was like, it's just too dense. Is it suppressed here? Let's see. But it's still coming out with a bit of spurious like mixtures, but not as bad as before. So now it's not about my it's not about my thing. It's about like it's not about it being broken. It's about the noise level. So it says that I would want more neurons. This is really hard. I don't feel I feel like dumb. I don't know. I just feel dumb because this is hard. I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what any of it means, but it's like a lot of stuff now. It's kind of a lot. What's confusing me is like I'm having a little bit of a hard time telling that is it recovering the memory or not. That's the reason that I wanted something cleaner because it's like I'm having a bit of hard time saying like, okay, this is the noisy pattern or this is like a recovered pattern. It's a bit hard. But I don't know. Maybe I can figure that out. I think I'm gonna implement some different fixes. You know what I'm gonna do though? I have a lot of stuff I need to fix now to combine them together. Oh Lord. I feel like I'm gonna be doing this for hours. Okay, there's still some ones flipping, but I can tell that it's recovered here. I think I can tell here that it's not recovering. And then here, I can pretty much tell that it's recovered. This one's a bit harder to say. That's my issue with this. Is that like, how can I say what's recovering and what's noisy? God, I give up for now. I think I'm gonna just chill and like not worry about it. And then I'm gonna come back and hopefully everything will be better by then. I just did like a little meditation. When I feel stuck, I try to take a step back and do some kind of meditation. And what I started thinking that I might do is I'm gonna do it, make it the best that I can. And then from that point on, I think that I could just write it in my paper. Like I could show the densely coded one, the ones and negative ones, and say like, this is the result I got when it was densely coded. And then I could say like when I moved it to sparse coding, like I did get a few random little ones and like say why, but maybe try to defend that. And then what I need to do though is just make sure that I have something in my model that shows like at which point it moved. Like what does it look like it's actually suppressing or not? It might just be like that's just how it is. Like I'm trying to think like if you're stressed and you're trying to recall something when you're stressed, I'm sure you also would get a little bit of like issues, you know, like it wouldn't be perfect per se, but I can show that this is like how it was when it was densely coded, and then when it was sparsely coded, like I had this and that issue, but it was like mostly fine. I'm gonna ask my supervisor tomorrow. I think that's probably the best I'll be able to do because there's not really a situation in which you would normally be trying to recall something when you're stressed anyways. Like, I mean, when you're stressed, yeah, that would happen. But like, unless you're stressed, like, there's no reason that would happen. So it's kind of modeling stress behavior anyways. I think that's the best I can do for now. I'm gonna do like 2 different copies. It's super annoying when this happens. Well, I'm gonna try to fix this now. I think that's probably just my best bet, and I'm gonna see if my supervisor agrees, but this is at 0.5, and this one obviously looks like it's meant to be the noisy pattern, but with like a few little ones. This one is a bit too much. I don't know. It's so mixed. Like, that's kind of the annoying thing. I'm gonna see what my supervisor says. Hopefully, I'm gonna tell him that, and then he might have a suggestion. This looks very clearly like it's meant to be the noisy pattern. So I think that when it's like this looks like it was trying to do the recover, like the original pattern, but it's a little bit blended. Because Claude was also kind of saying that like it's not really that's kind of the best you can do. Like, let me show what it was saying. So there's crosstalk. So pattern 2 shows more structure with pattern 1. Says if you want cleaner recovery, you want more neurons, which I can definitely do. I just have to do that, also fix that on the other one, so then it's like a little bit annoying. And then the 1-bit oscillations that's sparsity feedback loop. I'm gonna show him what Claude said. That's really annoying because I want just like a clean, like a good clean kind of solution, and it's just not happening yet. It does kind of make a bit of sense because if I accidentally deleted it, luckily I had a copy that I accidentally made, so I'm just waiting for it to like kind of copy it out. But I think I'm gonna try one time with like some more neurons, like it suggested, and see if that works for me. If not, I don't know. I've been feeling a little bit depleted. Like I'm kind of getting tired of just the back and forth with Claude and everything. It's like kind of annoying, and I'm so ready to be done with this, to be honest. It's been like this has been so fun, but it would be a lot more fun if I was like in a I don't know, like it would be a lot more fun if I didn't have a real job to do and I didn't have school and I didn't have all that. I'd have the time of my life. Unfortunately, that's not my situation. And I feel like I have to like, do this like kind of sneaky, like, oh, I should be doing work right now, but like I'm gonna do this instead. And it's just kind of annoying. So I'm a little bit depleted. Also, with like the actual skill set necessary to do this would be so great. Like, if I actually knew like what I was doing, because it's not like I know it's like, oh, AI and like AI is doing this and AI is doing that. Like, it's not like I'm like, I would rather put the mental work in myself and actually know what I'm doing. Like, do you see how annoying this back and forth with Claude is? Like, I would actually, like, from the bottom of my heart, I would so genuinely rather just know what I'm doing because it's like kind of overwhelming actually to do it with Claude. And I'm grateful because like I'm able to do it. So whatever. But it's like it's just annoying to use Claude. I don't really want to use it anymore. And just feeling like I don't like the helpless feeling of like I don't know what I'm doing and like I feel out of my depth by like a lot doing this. So I'm really ready for this to be done to be honest. It's just been a lot. I'm really tired and I really want to get to work on my paper. Like I'm dying to just be like just writing, putting my results together, like everything and I'm just still kind of doing this. So it hasn't actually taken that long. Like I'm complaining, but it hasn't taken too long. It's just like I'm already seeing that like okay, I'm gonna have to do like this and this and that. I still have to figure out getting the actual numbers. I still have to do like the results section. I still need to try it like at capacity and all these different things that are just really exhausting, I think, and just I'm tired. I've been going hard at this for over a year now. This has been like a year. And a year is a very long time. I know it's like it's not in the grand scheme of things, but this is a very intense thing to be doing for like a year, It's a very long time. And it's really taken a lot of like my attention span, consistency and everything. And I'm happy, but I'm also tired and just like, I don't know. I could implement something that will tell me if it's like, is it closer to this or is it closer to that? And I could also, because it would kind of be the equivalent of like, okay, I'm trying to remember, I'm really stressed. I remember bits and pieces. Some of it is fuzzy, but I think this happened, Like I could implement a like I think this happened function. You get me where it's like I want that actually. And I think I am going to try to explain it like that as well. Like, let's actually go into my paper because I'm so ready for this to be done. I've kind of been writing as I go along and just like getting everything set up so I just have as little as possible to do because this has been like a lot of work. So I'm going to show you guys what I think I'm going to probably do, like how I'm going to phrase it. Because I mean, that's the whole point is like if stress is up when you're like trying to remember something, like that's the whole thing is like it's going to mess stuff up. So I think what I could say, like, could say something like this, like, I ran a densely coded experiment and like a sparsely, and then I moved it out to sparse coding. And then this is what was happening during dense coding. And then I could also do another like, and then I could say as well, like, um, at sparse coding, I mean, I think this is realistic though, right? At sparse coding, like basically the more extreme ends had like a cleaner kind of output with just like only suppression and like or and only perfect recall, like it's not the best way to put it because I'm tired, but then like at the middle you do get some clean suppression, but also some recall that's like that has extra numbers. And then I could say like why does that happen from like a from a Hopfield network perspective, I think. Like the actual like mechanics of why that happened. But then I could try to say like that is a bit realistic because like if acetylcholine is up at recall, which it shouldn't be, it makes sense for there to be some confusion. And then what I think I'm gonna say as well is like, but I implemented like a function that helps you kind of see like which it's the most like numerically how accurate it is. And then in the discussion I could talk about like that makes sense because it's like I need to say this scientifically, but it's kind of like if stress is up, you might get like a messy sense of the trauma, but you can say like it seems like this happened, you know, like not it seems like, but it's like you can still pick apart like what happened to a degree still. If that makes sense because that's the whole thing is acetylcholine shouldn't be up when you're trying to recall. So it's like it makes sense for that to make some issues. It's just like the other one was so clean. But I think it makes sense for there to be like it's a little bit messier at the other part. So I think I am gonna talk about that maybe in my paper. And I'll still bring up the dense coding because, you know, maybe somebody who has like, you know, maybe if I ran this on a supercomputer, maybe if I did a different type of hop field, you know, different type of neural network or something like, you know, the point of science is also other people run it too. So it's like maybe another person could do it in a different way and maybe get some kind of cleaner output, but based on everything that I had, like that's how it went. Unless my supervisor has some like genius ideas to how to fix it, but that might just be realistic anyways. Like, you know, trauma kind of messes up how you recall things. It's just like I feel so vulnerable doing this because like I just don't I'm not like I don't have like a lot of experience, so it's really hard sometimes for me to say like, okay, well, maybe I just don't know enough or like maybe I just don't I don't know, it's like maybe there's like an issue that I just can't figure out, you know, stuff like that. So, but I think that's like kind of I'm gonna play with it still, but I think that's probably about the best I can do. So let's try to make that function. You know, I want clean and perfect so then I feel like, okay, I don't know, it just feels better, but maybe this is just not meant to be like that, you know? It's just getting so hard, like the words, everything, like the way Claude is talking, like monotonically and just like God, so many words. If you want the full Lyapunov function, bro, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't. I'm gonna lower this lamb thing for real now. I'm gonna like I think this is too much. It's so suppressed throughout the whole thing. It just doesn't seem right. So I'm gonna just try like this is I'm sorry, but the mental pain right now. I just need this to be done. I just want this to be done so freaking bad. It's insane. It's like, please, please. I feel like God has stretched me to like the limits of my everything. Like it's like why me times 1,000. I think this will show me more because I think like I don't know. I think this will show me something And then we can just I can try it at different lambda, whatever lambda amounts and see if there's an improvement and I can just get like a good thing out of it. Why does it keep mentioning Haselmo? What is this? What is the Haselmo crossover? Like they just keep name dropping him and I don't know like is this I don't know. Anyways, okay, whatever. I don't have the energy, so whatever this is, sure. Okay, look at this. Recovery accuracy at acetylcholine. This is ugly. You see how there's that really sharp something from 0.4 to 0.5? That might not, I don't know, that just seems a little unnatural. Match to stored, you see how it's like it's not correct because this shouldn't be, it shouldn't look like this at all. And it does get closer to the noisy one over time, but this doesn't make any kind of sense at all. It should be starting all the way up here. It's just like I haven't even like I've been like, oh, I want to make a video of this. You know what I mean? It's like usually I have like a solid video. This week has been so much of me starting to make like, okay, it'll happen today. And then like nothing gets saved. So I think I'm gonna keep this one just so you can see like because these are supposed to be my little video diaries, and it's like you can see how intense this has been and how annoying. It's because I hit my wall in terms of what I know, and now it's really hard. So let's try that again. Now, that did improve it, but this is random that at 0.1 this would happen as well. Like, why is it having that drop at 0.1? That's really bizarre. It's not mad. What's going on at 0.1? Let's try it. Like, just out of curiosity, what's happening at 0.1? Stored, stored, and stored. So what? Why is that? Let's try it. Let's try that again. Just feel like I don't know anything. Because you have to run it. Oh, it's because of the randomness. You see, it's like you have to do it a bunch of times. And you see that every time it turns out a bit different. Overall, it's seeming pretty accurate. It's just that, like, around here, it's having like a random little drop. I don't understand why that is exactly. And sometimes it doesn't work at all. So it's really struggling, it seems. You see that the randomness is really kicking it in the butt right now. It's around here that it's just not working. And I'm really confused about that because it seems not that bad. Like it seems pretty accurate. Here, it's like 100% matching. So I'm a little confused. It's when I'm about to make a big leap in life. You know what I mean? Every time I'm about to, these are like the rules I use to cope. Every time I'm about to have a big leap in life, it's like this crazy freeze and everything just gets like frustrating and weird and like why won't anything just move? And it's like I can throw as much work as I want into it and like it doesn't work. It happens like that for me every single time I'm about to make a big leap. When I was going to move to London, I had this moment where like my I couldn't figure out where on earth my visa was. I was like not I couldn't find it's not that I couldn't find it. It's that like everything was submitted in a sense in a way that was like okay it seems like there's no reason why like I was on time, right? But we were waiting and waiting for it and like we couldn't figure out where it had sent to, and I was kind of freaking out because I was like where like why isn't it here? Like I'm meant to leave in like 2 days. And finally we realized that like this was the night before, literally no, yeah, I think almost the night before the night before I was meant to leave, I think, or like 2 nights before. I'm not remembering now. I think it was truly the night before. I hadn't even told my grandparents. I was like, my grandparents are gonna freaking hate me, like, because I had already like, not hate me, but I had already bought my ticket to London. I had like everything was set up for me to move to London. It just my visa and my passport weren't there. And I had even told my internship, I was like, I think I'm not gonna be able to make it like on time because I don't know where is it going to. And then right at the end, I had like a moment. Like I was like, God, like it was like the moment of moments. I was like, what's going on here? Like I literally have to leave tomorrow. I pretended I went out to dinner with my grandparents and like I didn't think I was gonna even be able to leave. Like I was like, where's my visa and my passport? But I just pretended I was like, I'm just gonna pretend and I'm just gonna like say bye to them like I'm leaving because I just can't even bring it myself to like tell them like this isn't working. Because my visa isn't here and then I'd have to like, I'd waste so much money on my ticket. And then literally the night before, I have like a flash. I'm like, wait, I never checked. I had moved from my dad's place, my dad's apartment to my best friend's apartment, but I had applied for the visa while I was at my dad's apartment. So I thought that it would go to my dad's apartment. Like I don't know why I even thought to send it to my best friend's apartment at that point. But like, so we kept asking them like, "Hey, have you gotten mail? Have you gotten mail?" Because we didn't even live there anymore, so we couldn't check the mail. And then it turns out I had sent it to my best friend's apartment. So every time I'm about to have like a leap, it happens like this where it's like everything freezes and I'm so irritated and I'm so stuck and it's like nothing is moving and then it's like bam, move. It's crazy every single time. It's like I get pushed to my moment of deepest frustration and then like that's when the magic happens. I'm always like, why? Like, why does that happen? Like, do I have to be tortured? Like, what's the torture for? But it does happen like that always. Okay, this is pretty interesting. You can see the accuracy does go down, but here it goes down quite a bit. That's why you have to run it like 50 times or something. But you can see it starts to break down at like this level. It gets a little bit less accurate. And then some of them, like that one right here, pattern 0 changed like, whoa. At this point, it was like really, really like, whoa. It's pretty interesting that it got broken down like quite a bit. But overall, it doesn't really seem like that much. Maybe my paper sucks. Maybe this whole paper is a flop. It's so little. This just doesn't even seem right. You know why this is though? It's because this one is comparing it to the original pattern. I asked it if it could do one that's going to be compared to the encoded pattern. And I'm really curious to see that one too. Let's see. Look how interesting this is though. This is the original versus the encoded. And look how big of a difference that is for pattern 2. It's a big change right there. That's very, very inaccurate. Like that's a big, do you see that? That's really different. Right there for pattern 2 is like, whoa, it's really different from the encoded pattern. I think that's going to be a good statistically significant difference. Well, at 0 acetylcholine, that makes sense because it's just going to be like a mixture. And then you get a little bit of breakdown around here. You see, the difference really isn't that big at the end of the day. It is for some of the patterns. Like the pattern here. Wait, I'm going to run this for the first time like 50 times. It's not like this. The results are really not very surprising from the 10-time run already. At least I'll have this to show my supervisor. Feeling like a bit of a flop tonight, not gonna lie to you. This is just, no, just feeling like a flop. This is pretty much what's expected across 50 trials. There's a difference of about 20% accuracy at low acetylcholine, except one of the patterns consistently is way different. Cool. I mean, okay. Even though this is probably not my final one because I'm still gonna like shift stuff around. Like I might, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I think I'm just gonna copy paste this in just to like motivate myself. Like I have something. Like, yay, we got something. I feel like I don't often stop enough to like I expect a lot from myself, like my standards for myself and like what I just expect a lot from myself. A lot. And sometimes it's just not necessary. And like I'm remembering, so I had the roughest year of my life senior year. I was like dealing with like a Title IX trial, everything. And that really disrupted my second semester. I was dealing with a lot of mental health struggles from that and everything. So I was really in a hard spot and I ended up getting two C minuses. And I didn't get to fully finish my senior thesis, which ended up leading into this. So it was like a good thing for me at the end of the day. I had like a 3.7 senior year, and this is with mental health, with everything, ADHD at like a good university. Second semester, I got two C minuses. I really probably like, honestly, I don't know. I don't even feel like I deserve the C minuses. I mean, I deserved it for the fact of like I was going through like a lot, but like, I don't know. I was like, I really could have probably failed in another semester. I think professors were like nice about it, but my GPA dropped down to a horrible, ugly, disgusting 3.6. Gasp, so awful. Like in hindsight, it's like, okay, who cares? I think I was really sad because like that's a great GPA. I was just really sad because I think I was actually feeling more grief at the fact that like my academic life had been disrupted and I didn't get to see like my full potential as well. Like, it was like because I was dealing with mental health and everything, and there's a point to this. But I also, because I didn't get to finish my senior thesis, because my GPA kind of like dropped off as well and all the stuff, like I wasn't eligible for departmental honors at the end. And that made me really sad. Like I really wanted that. So I was for like my department, I was really sad. And oh my gosh, I cried so hard. Like this was like right before graduation and everything. My mom came in. I was crying so hard. Like I was genuinely like I was inconsolable. I was so sad. And my mom was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I got two C minuses." And I was like, "Do you?" She was like, "So what?" My parents. This is the thing is my parents do not care. Like literally, they were not checking in like that much when we were in school. Like they didn't really go to PTA meetings. Like they really didn't care about my grades ever. Like I mean, they were happy, I think, that I made good ones at a certain point, but they truly did not care. My mom both my parents dropped out of undergrad and then went back later as like when they were older, a little bit older. So my mom didn't go back to undergrad until she was like maybe her late 20s. And she's a really smart person, but she does not care like that. Like she's got this energy. And my dad also like my dad didn't do that great when he was like in high school even though he's a really smart person. My mom or like he didn't he just they're just that's not their vibe. And I don't know why like I was like I had it in my head that like I was being so hard on myself. And I told I was like crying so hard and I was like, do you think dad's gonna be disappointed? First of all, why would he be disappointed? Like I made a great GPA. Who would care? My mom was like, no, what are you even on? Like, what are you talking about? But it's like, do you see that like sometimes like my level of expectation for myself is so unrealistic and like, you know, why would I be able to troubleshoot this freaking hop field? I didn't learn this in class. Like, why would I be able to troubleshoot it in the first place? And like, I'll have little stuff that I'm mad at myself about where it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's literally fine. But it's like, the level of torture that I impose on myself actually is insanity for nothing. And I'll be like even right now, I'm like, oh, like you're not doing enough of this and this and that, where it's like you're literally putting together like the literal root cause of your own trauma just by yourself. Like that's insane. And like I'm expecting myself to be like model student, model worker,
end model researcher that nobody asked me to do this research, where it's like, nobody asked for this. This isn't even what my program is about. I'm in a freaking conversion psychology program. Most people in my program didn't even make their own freaking project, like, at all. Like, they're under somebody else's project because they're normal human beings that value their sanity. Like, I'm just insane. So it's like, what? Sometimes, like, I need to realize, like, my own expectations of myself are like literally I could have stayed home and I could have just worked at a coffee. Okay, I think my parents want more from me than that, but to be fair, I probably could have done it. And especially, I think my mom would have hyped me up. My mom is like, you work too much. And I'm like, I know, but like, because my mom's Brazilian. This is the thing, is like, there's not, like, Brazilians do not have, I mean, it's not like that sort of, okay, Brazilians students, I want to give them this because they have to do something so much harder than me, which is they have to take, it's really competitive to, like, their university is free, but they all have to take um like a university, like a test to get in. So they have to work super hard, but like, even so, it's not like, like East Asian culture is super like work 24/7 and do not date and do not do this. Bro, if I told my mom I dropped out of my master's program and like because I met the love of my life and I'm going on an around the world trip to like get to know myself, my mom would hype me up, TBH. She'd probably be like she'd hype me up. Like, I don't think she cares, like, at all. Literally, she doesn't care. I can tell you that for an absolute fact. And like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we just don't have that culture in Brazil, like, at all. So like my mom literally would, I think, my mom does not care. This is like, if like, like, my mom thinks I'm weird for this, like, not, she's not a tiger mom at all. My dad is not either. I think he wants, like, I think he subconsciously has high expectation for us, but not because he needs us to live up to them, but I think he just has faith in us. Like, my sister and I are very like go-getters, and I think like my dad did encourage that when we were younger, but TBH, like, my mom will literally be like, I'm like, hey, I'm corporate strategy manager now. And my mom's like, wouldn't you have more fun working at a coffee shop where there's actual young people? I'm like, yeah, I guess. So it's just really not the culture like that. So it's really me going, like, just driving myself insane for nothing. I am literally like a tiger parent to myself. And I don't expect, this is the thing, is that the standards I have for me, like, they're my own personal thing. But it's like, I will not impose that on my kids. I don't care what my kids do that much. Like, for real, as long as they're happy, I don't care. But like, I am my own tiger parent because literally nobody else cares. Like, I'm sorry, like, my dad does not care, my mom does not care, my sister does not care, like, they do not care. Like, not in a bad way, but it's like, I am literally just insane. Like, that's literally the conclusion, is like, I'm just insane. That's just my vibe. So that's why we're here right now, because I'm freaking insane. And like, I'll just be doing stuff like this for no reason. Like, nobody told me to do this. And yet, like, I'm like, it's like, why are you holding yourself to this level of standard? Let's look at this like, what? This is not due until August. I'm just insane like that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's wrong with me? I don't even know. And like, why am I stress eating for something that I'm months ahead on this? Literally, I could dilly-dally for the next 2 months and still get this done. No lie. And yet I'm sitting here like, what, like, literally stress eating and all this stuff over it. But it's like, it just sticks in my head. I'm like, I just want it to be over. I don't want to do this anymore because I don't want to keep putting the expectation on myself. And while it's still open, it's like the expectation is still there. You get me? Where it's like, I'm thinking about it. I want it to be done. This is already like, I could probably turn it in, like, honestly, TBH, like this. I didn't need to do sparse coding. I could literally have done it densely coded. Nobody would care. You know why? Because I'm in a conversion psychology degree program and nobody cares. Nobody's expecting anything from me. I didn't have to discover anything. I didn't have to do anything. Like, I'm just insane. That's it. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think, well, obviously I went into this, I wasn't going into this thinking it was going to be a school project. Like, this was my own insanity. I started this literally, like, that's why I'm here. Because I started this project, like, I started school in, like, September, like the first week of October. I started this project in March. I was already working on this like 7 months before school started. So you get what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't a school project to me. It was me trying to like solve an issue. But it's like nobody told you to do that ever. Like literally nobody asked. Nobody cares. So that's what's really insane. But now that I'm here, I just want it to be finished. But like, do you see this? I'm months ahead. You know what? I might actually edit this video. And the reason, and I might end it here right now, even though I haven't like finished, but we have a little graphic. And the reason is that like I'm gonna keep the insanity cap encapsulated in this video. The theme of this video is like I'm just insane, okay? Like I'm just insane is literally the theme. And I think we can end it at that on that note. And hopefully that means like sometimes when I put my video out, I feel like it gives me a little fresh inspo because I get that little hit of like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's like it gives me that little like sense of completion. And I think I need it right now because I've been driving myself insane all week just trying to troubleshoot this. And it's like you need to relax. And yeah. All right, let's see if any of this saves because Teams is really annoying, but yeah, pretty much that's life. I don't know. I just torture myself endlessly for nothing is pretty much the story of my life. I think about this all the time. I'm like, what do normal people like people that aren't like weird? What do they do? What do they think about? Like I just don't know. I think there's something internally wrong with me. I'm like, I don't know the alternative to this. I don't know like what would I do if I wasn't doing this? What would I be doing with my day? I'm just obsessive. Do you get me? It's like I'm just like there's something wrong in here. That I'm just like I have an obsessive personality. I'm like, what would I what would I be doing? Using my phone? Hanging out with my friends? Like what would I do? You know, it's like I thrive on the obsession, and that's my issue. I'm really hoping that when this is done, I don't feel that way anymore. I hope it was like a skin that I had to take on. Does that make sense for this? And I hope that it like I shed it because I can't. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyways, that's the theme of this video is just like what's wrong with me. And hopefully next video, I guess I'll meet with my supervisor. I was almost thinking about making my meeting next week instead. I don't think he would mind that. And then I could maybe have it a little bit better. I'm not feeling good about it. This is what I'm saying where I'm looking at him like this is trash. I'm like it's not trash. It's not. It's fine. It's good. I'm like this is like I don't like it. I don't like the graphic. I don't like that I don't know what's going on right now. Like I just don't like it. And I'm just sitting here like picking it apart where it's like you literally are getting results for your paper. Like, please calm down. Anyways, hopefully this saves. And if it does, I hope you enjoy my video.